Hello everyone, welcome to Come Sit at My Table. We are Tom and Melissa, and we're really glad you're joining us for this video. Today we're going to make dessert. We're going to make a recipe for chocolate zucchini cake. This is actually a recipe that I got from my dad's oldest sister, my Aunt Maxine. I got this recipe in 1990. Now, I very rarely called her Aunt Maxine, because we all called her Aunt Mac, and she was a wonderful aunt. I could not have asked for a better aunt than her. So she shared this recipe with me in 1990, and we have really enjoyed this cake ever since. It's one that I normally only make in the summer because it does have zucchini in it. And of course, this time of year, zucchini is plentiful. So this is a typical cake that we would make to have. Now, it's not a big fancy cake. It's not like a 3-layer cake or anything. It's just made in a 9x13 pan, but it is a really good cake. It's very moist, very flavorful, so I think you'll enjoy it. Let's talk about what we need to make my Aunt Mac's chocolate zucchini cake. You're going to start with 1 cup of brown sugar, and I have not packed it in real tight. I have, put it in there, scooped it out, but it's not packed in tight. We need 1/2 cup of just regular granulated sugar. We need 1 stick of room temperature butter. We need 1/2 cup of oil. Now you can use whatever oil you like. I'm using canola oil today, and you do not want to leave this out. It's one of the things that really gives this cake some good moisture. The other thing that really makes this cake moist is 1/2 cup of buttermilk. So the oil and the buttermilk, along with the moisture from the zucchini, really helps this cake be moist. Now into that buttermilk, we're going to add 2 teaspoons of baking soda. And we want to put that baking soda right in with that buttermilk. And while I'm thinking of it, I'm just going to shake that up. I've got it in a jar, so it's easy for me to shake. And we're just going to shake that up and let that sit there for a minute and kind of mix together. Now, we also need 3 eggs. We need, I think it's 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I might have to look to make sure about that, but I think it's 1 teaspoon of vanilla. We need 4 tablespoons of cocoa, 1/2 teaspoon of allspice, 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Then we're going to need 2.5 cups of flour, and this is just all-purpose flour, 1 cup of nuts, and we use pecans. That's what was in my Aunt Mac's recipe, but if you don't like pecans and want to switch them out or leave them out altogether, you can do that. You don't even have to put them in. We have 1 8-inch zucchini that I have shredded up, and that's about 2 cups. You don't want a huge zucchini because they get tough and lose their flavor. So just a small 8-inch zucchini that you've shredded. And then at the very end, we are going to sprinkle 1 cup of chocolate chips on top of the cake. We're not mixing it in. We're going to sprinkle it on top after we get the cake batter in the pan. All right, let's go to work. So we're going to start by putting our 2 sugars in. And we're going to add our stick of butter and our 1/2 cup of oil. Now those need to cream, so we need to get those started. We'll stick this in the sink. Might as well clean as we go and make it a little easier on ourselves later, right? That's how I feel anyway. So in we go, and we're going to let that cream for just a few seconds. Now to that, we're going to add the buttermilk, the eggs, and a teaspoon of vanilla. So let's turn that down just a hair. There goes the buttermilk and the baking soda. put the eggs in. I think I'll do those. Well, I was going to do one at a time, but one of them hopped out on me. Okay. And 1 teaspoon of vanilla. We'll just eyeball that. Just a splash more. There we go. Now let's let that mix just for a second. All right. Now, I'm going to raise my beater. I'm going to add our chocolate and spices. Sorry, I'm doing it backhanded and you can't see, can you? All right, those are in. And I'm going to add our flour. That'll go right in. And let's get that mixed up just a little bit before we put in our nuts and zucchini. All right. Hope we don't get a flour mixture all over the counter. That's not too bad. Yeah, it's come out a little bit. Okay, take off our shield. I'm going to stir in the nuts and the zucchini. And I probably need to scrape that down a little bit just to get that flour off the rim of the mixing bowl. Let's stir these in and then we'll do that. Now, I'm going to scrape this bowl down just to make sure we get it all in there. We don't want to lose any of it, do we? Okay. Let's let it go around another time or two. Get this back in there. Okay. How we do there. All right, I think that's pretty good. Let's go over here. Now let me get my beater off and we will scrape that down and then we'll go into the pan. This is a really mild chocolate, very moist, really good cake. It's a cake that you would just, have for your family, or we actually have some friends that are coming over this evening, and so we'll have a piece of chocolate cake with them. It's just a nice cake to have on hand if somebody shows up, or just to have for you and your family. It's not one of those big fancy cakes, but it's a delicious cake. Okay. Now I've already sprayed my 9x13 pan because we don't want it to stick, of course. So I sprayed that before I even started. And by the way, we have preheated our oven to 350 degrees. And once we get this cake in, it will bake for about 30 minutes, 30 to 35 minutes. Doesn't that look nice?
It does look nice.
Mm-hmm. It's just a mild chocolate cake. It's very flavorful. And that oil, that buttermilk, that zucchini just really makes it so moist and delicious. Nobody really likes a dry cake, do they?
This is what you decided to do with your leftover zucchini.
That's true. Yeah, if you were watching our video the other day when I made zucchini bread, I had a zucchini left. And I think I even asked if anybody had suggestions for what I could do with my zucchini that was left. Well, I was looking through my book, and sometimes I get a little nostalgic. And I saw this recipe from my Aunt Mac and just thought, that's what I should do. I'll just make Aunt Mac's cake. My Aunt Mac was married to a minister. His name was Jay. And when I was little, I was scared to death of him because he was so loud. And he would come to our house. I was like 3, 4, 5 years old. And I would hide when I saw them coming in the driveway because I was so afraid of him. But he was the nicest man in the world. And my Aunt Mac just could not have been a better aunt to me. When I built our house, she called me and said, "I'm coming to paint all your doors and windows." And she showed up one day and did, before our house was finished. Okay, so I'm going into the oven with this for 30 to 35 minutes. When it's finished, we'll come back and let you see what the cake looks like. We'll be right back. Our cake baked for 35 minutes. We took it out of the oven and it has cooled for about 45 minutes to an hour. Now it's still warm on the bottom. It's almost hot, but it will be delicious that way. You can notice that the chocolate chips have stayed right up on top of the cake. And because of that, you don't even have to frost this cake. There's no reason to put frosting on it. If you want to put some frosting on it, absolutely you can do that. But usually we eat it just like this with a little dollop of Cool Whip. So let's cut a piece. I think my Aunt Mac would be really excited that we're using her recipe in this video. I know she would be. She was a wonderful Christian lady and a great aunt. Fingers there. And we need a little dollop of Cool Whip. Just a little bit right there. Now, isn't that a cool cake? So good. You want a bite, babe?
I would love a bite.
Okay. Here it comes. I'll do a little bite for you.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's good. You're right. It's nice that it's warm.
Mm-hmm. I like it warm. I like the nuts in it. Gives it just a little crunch. And it's the perfect amount of chocolate. It's not overpowering, is it?
You're going to eat that?
It's really good. Sorry. I kind of forgot. That is so good. All right. If you would, we'd appreciate you going. I can't believe I did that. We would appreciate you going right below the video and giving us a thumbs up. I can feel my face getting red because I kind of forgot what I was doing. Also, if you would go below the video on this side and click the subscribe box, if you've not already done that before, you only have to do it once. And there's a little notification bell beside that subscribe box. If you'll click that notification bell in the word all, YouTube will just let you know every time we add a new video so you can watch it. Also, there's a little share button below the video. If you'll click it, you can share our video to your own social media. Now, right under this video, you will find the title of this recipe. It's in a box there. If you'll click in that box with the title, that box will expand. Melissa always puts the written recipe there, so you have it written down. You can copy and paste it if you want to print it out, or at least it's written there for you to come back to later if you want to look at it. And our contact information will be right below that recipe. All right, thank you so much. We really appreciate that you watch our videos, and we really do appreciate those of you that have subscribed to our channel. Our channel is growing, and that's really nice for us. We've enjoyed that, and we've really enjoyed hearing from so many of you on the nice comments you've posted. Remember, you are always welcome to come sit at my table. Have a great day. Have a piece of chocolate cake.